Autobots, transform and roll out!
Huge, marauding robots transforming into vehicles fighting over the fate of the world boil down to the simplest corners of good and evil. So simple, so pure, so awesome, and so seemingly easy to transpose into the realm of video games. With the blockbuster summer movie looming, who wouldn't want to start revving their engines and downing some Energon cubes a little early? Transformers the game is here, and it's mediocrity in disguise. The harrowing plot is divvied between two separate campaigns, one for the noble Autobots and the other for the nihilistic sect of robots known as the Decepticons. They're both searching for something called the Allspark that will give whomever wields it tremendous power. So the bots keep running into each other and exchanging blows, covered with a smattering of short, horribly compressed cutscenes. There's a human teenager dude wrapped up in this intergalactic brouhaha who also gets fleeting seconds of screen time in the pixelated scenes.
What about this one? The Camaro! It's definitely calling me!
It's safe to say, story is riding shotgun this time around. There's enough going on to keep an ember of interest, but the plot is all about couching the arbitrary scenarios you will have to play through. And that sort of loose connect-the-dots philosophy dogs the game at every step. Transformers is wrapped in the now familiar open city, where a Transformer can go around and goof off until heading to the next green beacon on the map to further the plot. The city is filled with a lot of areas to explore for little collectibles and not-so-hidden tokens to unlock content. But other than getting your Godzilla on and having a cathartic experience leveling the suburbs, there's not much else to do but replay past missions, or one of the few sub-missions, which play just like the other missions but without the plot. Each mission sets you down as one particular Transformer. The missions vary, but all come down to destroying all the enemies in one point, racing to a spot, or destroying a certain item which is in a specific spot, guarded by some enemies. The Decepticons campaign gets a slight nod with missions where you can just destroy stuff in the name of progress. The Autobots get a demerit for underutilizing Optimus Prime. The Mack Truck Daddy doesn't get a lot of screen time. Now, the big open city isn't the only setting, so you'll get a GTA playground in an underground military complex, and it just feels lame and tacked on. The game is woefully short, with each campaign's hours counted on one hand. Just when you become familiar with an area's layout, it's off to a new one. The simplicity of the missions isn't helped with the dodgy camera and unresponsive controls. Even basic Transformers awesomeness is kicked to the curb. You can't transform while in midair. Want to jump off a building and turn into a hot rod and hit the street? Nope. Even the flying characters, only available for Decepticons, can only change from vehicle to robot in midair and not vice versa. Add in the inane time limits and a string of challenges that reset on the smallest infraction, and you'll be replaying the same 30 seconds again and again. Combat quickly becomes a game of rock'em sock'em robots, since your weapons, which seem to carry a payload of a small nuclear device based on their collateral damage, won't hurt most of your enemies. The answer is to run up to them and pound the melee button until they explode into a shower of shrapnel and, for whatever reason, metallic hearts. The boss characters are a bit more difficult. You have to throw things at them first. It's the same for every fight down to the end. Missiles won't do a thing, but throw a tree or a large novelty item, and they stand still, flummoxed, while you run up and beat them down to an oily mess. So, lame missions filled again with arbitrary restrictions like time limits and invisible walls meet a clunky camera and mindless wash, rinse, repeat combat that doesn't require the suspension of disbelief, but the annihilation of it. This game has a decidedly more GoBot feel than Beast Wars. There's some joy just messing around the city, and the destructible environments are great. Kicking an ambulance and swinging a giant wiener are fun, but all the good stuff sits outside of the real game. Transformer fans can put on their Allspark sunglasses and stomach this one, but everyone else should pass.